MSC Cruisecast is a Triple T production. Now, the Taste Try Travel team of Beth and Chris.
That one. Nope.
That one. Hello, Chris.
Is, oh my gosh.
Hold on. Ready?
Wait.
Sorry, guys.
Wonder Twin Powers activate.
We're trying to point to each other on the screen.
That's Beth.
And that's Chris. So we are your Triple T family, bringing you a action-packed podcast today. How about that as a start?
Goodness.
Woohoo!
It is action-packed. What are we going to be doing? Are we going to be fighting crime? What are you doing there? For everybody that's not watching, there's a big giant pause as you do something.
So I have my coffee cup today is my Campin' and Squatchin' coffee mug.
Is that the action-packedness?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
At some point, we'll tell you guys our camping saga, but I don't think anyone's quite ready for that yet. But we do have some fun stories for that. I
am so tired today.
Why?
I don't know. It seems like I got enough sleep last night. But
listen,
I'm just so tired. I'm glad nobody can see us.
We look a little rough. We have been so busy, and I'm. This is actually for real. We have so many really cool things coming up. We have a video this Sunday that's going to be coming out. It's going to be one of our little. What are you calling it? We have like a new little
quickie. It's a Triple T Quickie.
Triple T Quickie.
It's a Triple T Quickie, which I don't even know what that means. I just like the title. It's a little bit shorter than our normal videos.
But they're not short.
But still, it was 10 minutes long, the last Quickie that we did. So this one's going to probably be, I don't know, somewhere. I don't know how long.
So it's just a way for us to share a little bit more of a condensed story with you guys. So what we have coming out this week is going to be a little bit of... Can I just say real quick? Yeah.
This next week, if you are a fan of hard-hitting news broadcasts, cruise, you want the info, the lowdown info on and get a lot of information. Avoid us for the next week.
That's right. I was wondering where you were going with that. I'm like,
The next week we will be having
it's going to be a
lot of fun,
a ridiculous podcast, and if you're not up for some fun, just like skip it.
This Sunday is the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a fun video, and it kind of goes along with next week's podcast. So just warning you, it's goofy and fun.
Are we talking about it or no? We're going to have to make them wait.
Well, I guess we could tell them what it's about. Sure.
It's going to be about our adventures with Steampunk Humpty Dumpty. So we're going to give you a little bit about where he came from and how he's played a role kind of in Triple T.
And how he's changed our lives.
Exactly. And there was kind of like two, I don't want to say incidents, but kind of two stories we want to share about Steampunk Humpty Dumpty while we were on the seashore this last trip. So a fun video coming out and a fun podcast next week.
So the Olympics were just on. And you know, they have those heartfelt moments, little segments in the Olympics where the athlete tells about this coach that mentored them when they were 12 years old.
Yeah.
This is going to be our heartfelt.
Oh, it is.
Yes, moment where we talk about Steampunk Humpty Dumpty and how he inspired.
How he's inspired us. I have 2 shout outs this week. I'm going to do two.
Once again, I do not have a shout out. I don't know. I keep forgetting that this is a thing, that we're shouting out things. We're shouting at people.
I have 2. So we're going to
right on. That covers me then.
We're going to keep like building until maybe it's just shout outs.
It's
a podcast.
It's just 50 minutes, 45 minutes of shout outs.
The first one is to Ron and Allison Bowers. You guys are amazing. You shared, you're going to feel, let me start that over. You're going to feel very spoiled on the seascape. We loved our trip in March. We requested and got the table right by the staircase. I've had 2 people mention this table, so we're going to have to try to get it every evening. And we loved watching people stumble up and down while eating dinner. The butlers and staff were awesome and asked for some extra chocolates at Turndown. They hooked us up. What a great little tip.
No kidding.
Because we did get some chocolates, but we never asked for more.
But like sometimes they were coffee chocolates, and I like coffee.
Yeah.
And I like chocolate.
Yeah.
But I don't like them mixed for some reason.
Really?
I like when it's a chocolate, I just want kind of the chocolate
You
flavor.
like peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah. So I'm going to see if I can.
We got some plans to see what we can do.
See if my butler can get me some peanut butter.
That's right.
But hold on.
Yeah.
I have, if you go ahead and do the shout out for that one more time. Just say their names.
This first shout out is to Ron and Allison Bowers.
Oh. That's
sorry, guys.
That's what
I'm sorry.
a glockenspiel is.
I thought he was going to have a better one for you guys.
Well, it's a glockenspiel, and I expected very dramatic.
Oh.
That's not dramatic.
Not at all.
All right. Well, I won't use that as shout out.
Don't use that. And the next one I thought was great. This was to Angie King 8193 and says, Chris is defo the eye candy and Beth is the brains of the outfit. I love that. You have summed us up in one sentence.
Listen, I may not be the eye candy of the videos. But I feel like I'm the eye candy of the video.
You are.
And that's all they put. That's all that matters.
How you feel.
Exactly.
How you feel.
It's just what I believe.
All right, guys, today's podcast is going to be about food. It's one that we haven't really done a specific podcast for. Before we get into, there's just a couple items of the food that we want to be specific on, but I have one.
It's going to be the MSC Food
Facts. FAQS.
Frequently asked questions.
Do you think anyone's going to get that? Facts?
Why wouldn't they get that? Everybody knows what there's always a facts page. Like when you visit a site, like a website, they always have a FAQ.
You went a little too fast because I have a news article, breaking news to share first.
Well, you said what the thing was about. All right, well, hide it again.
Hide it again. Okay,
all right, there we go.
So before we start on our food podcast, there is an article that came out today, and we will link it below for you as well. And it says, "What's coming to Ocean Cay?" This was shared by our contact at MSC. It was a mainstream article that went out, though. There's a couple things I really wanted to let you guys know about. And the name of the article again is What's Coming to Ocean Cay? We All Have a Piece to Play. So it's a very long article, but I'm just going to read you a very small portion of it. And it says, MSC plans to further integrate those Marine Conservation Center. That doesn't make sense, does it? The Marine Conservation Center on Ocean Cay will host both working scientists and students and educational opportunities for guests with pavilions, coral exhibition tanks, and a lecture hall. The facility is expected to be accessible to cruise passengers in March 2025. How awesome is that? So that's the education center that we think is being built in the center of the island. It sounds like it's going to be pretty large, and I'm really excited about that. The last part of the article says, while many current tours take place in the water, guests will be able to take a new land-based tour and hear about the island's transformation, see wildlife like iguanas, we've seen those, pelicans, egrets, and learn about the marine ecosystem beginning later this month, which is August 2024. SNUBA, the cross between scuba diving and snorkeling that doesn't require certification, will also allow visitors to see coral that are in the deeper underwaters starting in mid-September. And I am super excited about that. Chris is looking dumbfounded because he's excited about it too. Amazing.
Is that the little helmet that with like the air tube that goes up into the boat and there's...
I think it's going to be something like that because obviously it's not scuba. So it
says scuba, and we did what
was called Discover Scuba,
so
which
scuba, but it was
a certification.
It was under 40 feet.
Yeah.
It was like right around 40 feet that we went down. So
two things.
This is a little bit different, but anything that gets me closer to our little friends, the fishes.
Exactly. So two things is, one, this will be the first really like up close to all of the coral growth and all of the marine life that has come back. This will be the best way to see it. So obviously they're very proud of what's happened under the waters. So, and I'm so excited about that. Mid-September, that's when we're going to be there. So we'll let you guys know, obviously, if it's up by the time we're there, and we can do it. We will 100% do it and share that information with you.
Well, we will definitely do that if it's available.
Yep, because we will be there mid-September. So we're not exactly sure what dates. They aren't giving us exact dates, but we'll let you know. But how exciting is that? So that article just came out this week, so I wanted to share that with you. But now we are going to talk about our main event.
Is it action-packed?
I have some controversy with MSC Pizza.
Wait, you gotta
That's
say
where
what
the action pack is,
so I can roll it in. I rolled it in. You didn't say the title.
I didn't. I skipped ahead. I was too going.
What's the title of this?
What is it? MSC Food Facts. Had to wait for it to come down.
You know, I spend like 5 or 6 minutes coming up with these title graphics.
I know. I'm so sorry.
And you just blow them away like right over, like it's just no big deal.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to talk about the food.
Let's talk about food.
Let's talk about it.
What is this controversy that you're talking about? I know what it is, but
pizza. And who would think? But this last time on the seashore, I don't know if we're going to show it in any videos or if we're going to actually show it. So we saved it for this podcast to talk about. And we've had multiple questions kind of throughout our time since we went on seashore back in 2022 and throughout our journey on MSC about pizza. And we always say it's the best pizza.
Is it the best?
Is it? Yeah. Why is it the best? There's a lot of cruise lines that have good pizza. Yeah, why do you keep saying?
So many people say that they have the best pizza.
Right.
And why are you guys so high on this pizza? Well, for those watching, the picture that I just put up, which was on the seashore this time, right?
Yep.
The MSC Chicago style pizza.
Which, if you are from Chicago, you should be upset.
Yeah, that's not Chicago style pizza. I'm not. That is not the best pizza at sea.
Well, let me just tell you this.
That is the worst pizza at sea.
This is, for those of you listening, this is basically like focaccia bread. So it's probably about 1 inch thick of just like doughy bread with some toppings on it. So they had some that were vegetarian or white, and they had some pepperoni, but it's not Chicago style pizza, and that's how it was listed.
It was, you remember like when you're poor and you're like, I want pizza, and your mom's like, all right, well, get out the white bread and we'll open a jar of ragu spaghetti sauce.
Yeah.
And then maybe we have mozzarella, but probably it's going to be American cheese. It's going to
American.
And we're going to put it in the microwave for 30 seconds to melt that cheese. Here you go. Here you go, kiddo.
Yeah.
Here's your pizza. Yeah. That's what this was.
And let me tell you,
it was disgusting.
And it was put in the center of the buffet, and one of the very first that you hit, kind of as you kind of come into Lido Deck, kind of from the pool area. This is the very first long main buffet. Right slap in the center is Chicago style pizza, which is this like focaccia pizza, and there was just people grabbing it. Now
they should not have been that proud of that pizza or like featuring it.
So if MSC, you're listening, please do not feature this pizza, only because the pizza that you have is excellent, and it was only available in one small corner, kind of in the next buffet back. So it was, I don't want to say hidden, but you had to search for it, whereas this Chicago style focaccia was like straight out there. So I'm just afraid that people will have this pizza, and although maybe it's flavorful, it's not the authentic MSC Italian pizza. And I think that what makes it the thin pizza that we like so much is the crust, and I'm not like a professional person who knows a lot of why the crust is good, but it's chewy and it has nice little pops of crispness, and it's just a wonderful slice of pizza. Chris loves thin pizza anyway, so but I felt like
it's a little crispy, especially the newer, like
as soon as it comes out,
right, the fresher ones.
Yeah.
So it's a little crispy. It's not too chewy, but it's just chewy enough that you get a little bit of a
pull, like
they get a little tiny bit of pull. The cheese they use, the ingredients they use are delicious,
very high quality. Yeah,
and they tend to leave it in just till it gets a little brown, almost black.
Yeah,
a little bit of char.
Yeah, a little bit of char. Those ovens are really hot. Yeah. The perfect
For those
snack.
of you listening, go over to YouTube and look at what they put on the buffet and say, this is pizza. That is not, I don't know.
Well, I just think it waters down the
They
wonderful.
hired my grandma
I don't
cook
know.
the pizza. Sorry, Grandma.
So I think part of this, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, so I guess that's why you have to come here to get all this information. But the different ships you go on, you will encounter different pizza. Now, I found, and it's funny because we did the Magnifica earlier this year. It wasn't a big ship. It wasn't like, oh, I'm super excited. You know, I was excited to go on it, but it was a small ship. So you think, oh, maybe it's not a lot to do. There's not a lot of food options. And at the end of that cruise,
it's a smaller ship. It's really not that small.
I know.
Gotcha.
But at the end, when we were doing our 3x3, Chris said it was quite possibly his favorite cruise ship. And I think the more we go on and the more we experience MSC, I can understand why you said that. I think the pizza on MSC, along with a lot of the other food on the buffet, was some of the best. And they had, I guess I kind of expected a breakfast pizza on the seashore because it was on the Magnifica.
Right.
But it doesn't work like that. So I don't know if it's the different chefs or I don't know how they decide. But on the seashore this last time, normally where the good pizza was, it was just like extra hot breakfast items. So they simply took pizza off until lunchtime came. And I was disappointed because I fell in love with that breakfast pizza that had the cheese and the bacon and kind of like the egg cracked over the top and then partially cooked that we had on the Magnifica. And then on the Magnifica, they also changed out their pizzas a little bit more often with more interesting.
Well, seashore, they changed it out, but it was always like
it was very veggie forward, which is fine, but
right. But like you would either get like a supreme veggie pizza, or you would get, I don't remember what the other one was. I don't even remember.
It would change, but they didn't have.
It was only like they only changed like to two.
Right.
So like one day it was this one, the next day it was the other one,
right.
And then back to the first one, and then the next day it was the other one. So they didn't really change it up.
It didn't. And I think it's because they had that other pizza out, so they thought it was enough. But we found when we were on the Magnifica that there was 4 pizzas all the time, and they always had that white pizza that Chris really loves. They switched it out with a pizza that had like different cheeses, Gorgonzola being one of them. He likes, I don't. But then they also switched it with a white pizza that had like sliced onions on it.
Yep.
And that one was so good. And so you find when you go on these cruises, you fall in love with these certain things, right? And then you go on another MSC and maybe you don't find that exact pizza, which is I'm kind of sad about that a little bit.
Yeah. On the, I just got put up the picture of the Frankfurter Pizza that was on.
That was
Magnifica.
Great.
They just like one day they just had Frankfurter Pizza. It was awesome.
Just hot dogs cut up and added to the pizza, and they were like just little, like, I don't know, 1/2-inch sections of hot dog put on the pizza.
It was great.
It was. I just think it was just that creativity. I loved it.
Right, exactly. So they would change it up and they would try fun things, and it was so much more fun than the seashore was. But I just want to say, I'm so tired and itchy.
Wake up, you can do it. Come on.
Anyway, I think we got spoiled with
Which one?
This is how tired I am. Our first Yacht Club experience.
Oh, Meraviglia.
Meraviglia.
Yes.
And then Magnifica.
Yeah.
Because both of those had great pizza.
Yes, absolutely.
And then we got on the seashore again, and it was... I was very disappointed.
We ate a lot of the pepperoni, like the thin style pepperoni on Seashore. And every once in a while they'd have the white pizza that Chris liked. So we'd eat that. But we found that we didn't eat as much as we had on the previous trips. Now, another funny thing to say is that when these ships are different, what?
I'm correcting you. They never had the Gorgonzola white pizza.
No, they didn't.
They never had that.
Okay.
I was very...
And you were really looking forward to that.
I know.
Yeah.
When I was going, yes, we're going on MSC.
Yeah.
They're going to have the Gorgonzola white pizza.
Yeah.
That little bitterness, that little tiny bitterness from the Gorgonzola, from the blue cheese.
Right.
Oh my
Not my thing, but I know how much you love it.
It's so good. I love that little tiny...
Yeah.
Like, just get you in the tongue.
Yeah.
Just boom. little exclamation point. And I was so excited because it was on the Meraviglia.
Right.
And it was on the Magnifica. And it wasn't on the Seashore.
Well, also another way we were spoiled on the Meraviglia being in Yacht Club was we would order pizza pretty much every night. So the room at the end of the night, sometimes we would order 2. I'm not ashamed to say that because they were so delicious. But another interesting thing about even the Meraviglia, they had
all our secrets.
I know. They had something called the MSC style pizza, which on paper looked delicious.
That's right.
It was in all the menus, and it had like a shaved Parma ham, and it had arugula. It just sounded like just a touch different. You know, I love arugula on pizza. You know, after it's finished cooking, you sprinkle a little arugula. It just adds a little crunch, a little peppery taste to it. And I love the salt from the Parma ham. I was so excited about that. But every time we talked to the concierge or tried to order it, they were just out.
Here's what it was. Here's why it was funny. By like day 5, you would call and the concierge would take the order.
That's how we would,
and then you would hang up. And then they would call back in about 5 to 7 minutes and say, I'm sorry, we don't have the MSC style pizza today.
And I was like, okay.
On day 3, we were like, we were waiting by the phone for that call. Yep, sure enough. They never had it that day.
And the concierge had said, because we had left out of New York, and the first stop after the sea day was going to be Port Canaveral, and that is really where they still load up most of their provisions for the Meraviglia is still at Port Canaveral. And so he's like, maybe after the stop, we'll get some more stuff on. But that whole time we never got to try MSC style pizza. Now
we're just out of Parma.
No. They had everything on the ship to make it, but for some reason they couldn't do it. So I have not seen that pizza mentioned on any of the last several cruises we've been on. So maybe it was too much. I don't know. They finally figured out that they're never going to
take that off. Maybe the cooks are down there, the pizza cooks are like, what is this? What are people ordering? Like it was only up in the Yacht Club or something. It was only up in the Yacht Club. Yeah. They're like, what is Parma ham? I don't even know what that is.
Right.
You don't have that.
So it's interesting. We still love their thin style pizza. We will still get it no matter what. It is so delicious, but it's going to be different on different ships that you're on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, their pepperoni thin style on Seashore.
Yeah, exactly.
Bad.
Exactly.
Consolation prize.
So we don't want you to say, we weren't happy. No, we absolutely ate plenty of that. It's just different. So, shoot.
What? Sorry.
I don't know.
I interrupt you with my little jokey jokes.
I just lost it. Yeah. So anyway, I just hope that on these bigger ships, MSC is not going to kind of like water down their wonderful pizza with this focaccia style pizza. I just hope that that's not a trend we're moving towards, that they have both of those kind. I don't know. It was a little disappointing. Yeah.
Okay, can I bring up one of the questions that
Absolutely.
I see
I'm done talking about pizza. Yes.
and that is on Ocean Cay. Mm-hmm. What kind of food is available on Ocean Cay? Is it just plain old private island food? Is there anything special they do on Ocean Cay? That kind of stuff. I see a lot of questions about that.
Okay.
I just want to...
Which is a good question.
It is a very good question.
Because all of the cruises have private islands, so they're all going to offer a free, what they call BBQ lunch, kind of, on their private islands. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, yes.
Thank you.
That's the
and
answer.
Done.
On Ocean Cay, it is standard private island fare food.
Correct.
You got burgers, hamburgers.
Those are the same things.
Sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone.
So
maybe I didn't sleep as well last night as I thought.
Burgers, hot dogs. They're going to have some type of like jerk chicken seems to be very prominent.
Beans and rice.
Yep.
They have a
bunch of
sort of
salad.
little veggie there usually, and then they have mac and cheese.
Well, and then they also had like a nice selection of cold salads, like a coleslaw. There was like a bean salad. Yep. Not something I tend to go for necessarily, but might taste good on a hot day. You know, a nice cool salad, not just everything hot.
Absolutely. Whenever you are really hot, always up for mayonnaise.
Oh, God. That's kind of why I tend not to have those kind of salads, but they do keep them cold.
Shovel in the mayonnaise when you are really hot.
Something else that Ocean Cay has that I absolutely love is they have a quick little line. It's off to the side. We saw it to the left side of the main buffet. I don't know if it was on the right side or not. But they have just a quick, what?
We don't ever go to the right side.
We were sitting on the left side, so we saw that. But it was just a walk up, just grab and
walk
go.
Over there, they have like lobster tails. Holy moly!
We've never been to the side.
Why didn't we come to the right side earlier?
They had a quick walk-up window where you could just grab a hot dog, a hamburger, French fries. That's it. So it was very quick. People weren't in line, because the line can be quite long. So
yeah, that is awesome. I love that thing idea that they have added.
Yeah,
that quick. You just
maybe to the right side, but we know to the left side.
Just walk up and grab your hot dog and go. Yeah, you just want a hot dog.
You don't got time for nothing. You just want.
I don't want any of that beans and rice. I ain't no rabbit. I don't even know what that means.
I don't know either. But another really cool thing is they have food trucks around, and I know food trucks sound fancy. They're not fancy. They're not. They're very simple, but it does give you great options. And there are some other cruise lines.
Same thing.
Hamburger,
as the
hot
buffet.
dog.
Basically,
yeah.
Well, less. They serve hamburger, hot dogs, fries, and pasta salad.
That's it. Yep.
That's all you can get.
Every once in a while, you'll find one with the lobster roll, which we did try this last time.
But they say that's super convenient.
Absolutely.
That's what I love about the little food trucks,
because they're up on Bimini Beach. They're on Sunset Beach. Everywhere.
You're probably within 100 feet,
right?
200 feet of a food truck.
Yeah.
Somewhere. They do start closing them as the day gets later, so they'll start at the farther end.
Right.
So if you're way up there, if you wait too long, they might close that food truck a little earlier than they close the other ones.
Yeah.
But it's so nice and convenient.
Absolutely.
You just go right up there and
I want to say something about the lobster roll, which I thoroughly enjoyed. My mother is from New England, so she would not have enjoyed it because it was not a proper lobster roll, but I enjoyed it. But just keep in mind, there were lots of red onions on there. So if you are not a raw red onion fan, I would not suggest getting it because it was a lot of onions on it.
Well, if you do get it, go ahead and scrape those red onions off into an envelope and mail them to me because I love red onions.
But keep in mind one thing. I think that it says the price is $12.99. I could be told, but it's right around in that area. But keep in mind, they add tax and they add gratuity to that. So your
$37.
$12 lobster roll is about $18 or $19. And I was like, when I was looking at my bill, I'm like, I didn't spend like $19. And it was because they add that. So just remember that tax and gratuity is added to that lobster roll if you get it. So it's a nice change, definitely. It's not traditional though. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. It's like a creamy. Yeah. It's like lobster salad.
Kind of. Yeah.
But can I just, sorry, I didn't know if you were going to go over to the next one, if you were ready to get
I was getting ready to go to the next one.
I just want to answer the question real quick. Like I said, yes, it's standard cruise fare, but the great thing about Ocean Cay.
Yes. Well, there's lots of great things.
Well, yes. But when it comes to, if you don't necessarily want hamburgers or hot dogs.
Yep, I already know where you're going.
Right back on the ship. It takes you 5 minutes to get back to the buffet or to the restaurant.
Right.
And then boom, you can get right back off.
It is so
right
close.
On the island.
So close. Yep, that's great.
So it's not, you can't really think of it like other private islands where they're a little bit further away. There are some closer private islands, but I would say the majority of the private islands, you're in for a long walk or a tender ride.
Well, I was thinking of like Perfect Day at Coco Cay. I think that is Royal Caribbean's.
Yep.
Great island, but that pier is long and it's hot. So it's a long, like if you think, I need to just, it's not a, hey, we're just going to run back to the ship. It's, so I do love that MSC is so much closer. Especially if you're just headed back in the middle of the day, you shouldn't really hit very many lines getting back on the ship.
You won't. In the middle of the day, you're not going to.
It's really going to be if it's like rain is coming and everyone's trying to get back on the ship, or it's kind of like closing time and everyone's going back. So yeah.
Those are the only times you'll really hit the lines.
Yeah.
So
yeah. The next thing, and I can't remember how much
frequently a fact.
I think it is.
Right on.
What is the best burger on the ship? I've had several people ask me. I can't remember who, but they were getting ready to go on and they said, we can't wait for your videos. Can you just tell us about this burger?
Right.
And it's so funny, and I probably already have said this. I don't remember, so I'm going to say it again. I'm not a burger person. I can enjoy them, but that isn't my first go-to. And I'm still thinking about that burger. And I'm still planning. I'll tell you which one it is. I'm still planning to get this somehow. Even if we have to brave the jungle of the MDR on our next cruise, I'm getting this burger.
You would leave the Yacht Club
to get this burger.
You don't even have to do that.
I don't know. We're going to find out because there's some very particular things on this.
We can ask.
We're talking about the Tour de Brunch. This is their MSC C-Day brunch menu that came out sometime in June of this year, 2024.
Great.
This has made us believe in brunch again.
It's a really nice brunch.
Absolutely.
They've done a really nice job with the menu.
Yep.
There's still chaos in the dining room.
But you just got to put up with it.
Because it's in the AM. For some reason, like all hell breaks loose before noon.
It's like all management is still asleep and all the servers are just like, we don't know what to do. We don't have our managers here. I don't know. It's so funny.
What's going on?
Why are people here?
We're not allowed to serve anything before noon. What do we do?
This is a wonderful menu. It is definitely worth going to the very first sea day, trying something.
Definitely.
So that on your next sea day, you get another opportunity to do it. Now, hit it a couple times and try some different things. I want to talk about this particular burger. This burger was it a half pound? Probably.
I don't
have the description in front of me. I'm just kind of going off menu. It was a very thick burger and it was cooked. I asked mine for medium well, so just a little, or medium somewhere. There's just a little pink in it, but the meat itself was so soft and broke away so easy. I know sometimes when you have like thick burgers and they have to like cook them, they can tend to get a little worked too much. But the beef itself was so soft. There was this tiny little bit of smoked brisket with some barbecue sauce underneath the burger patty, which it wasn't like super messy. There wasn't a ton of it, which I was really happy about.
Right.
Because it wasn't messy.
when you took a bite, it wasn't like, oh, this is barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
It was just a little compliment.
Yeah. And they had a couple onion rings on there, which added a nice little crunch. They had what looked like maybe some like homemade pickles, very thin sliced, with lettuce and tomato kind of off to the side. What?
I don't know. I just homemade pickles. There's some poor Filipino
down there
guy at home, like, I need to make 7,000 more jars of this by tomorrow.
It looks like they make them on the ship. I mean, when you get them, it doesn't look like a perfect,
I know what you're saying, but it's homemade.
Ship made. They were ship made.
My fingers hurt from slicing these cucumbers.
I think that's the star of the brunch menu. You probably could get maybe an egg on top of it if you wanted. But it was
that's a good idea.
It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. And I think it's worth. Which was nice. You don't have to get up super early because it's the brunch. It goes till like 1, I think. But it's a definite, if you like that kind of stuff. And we're going to talk a little bit next about Yacht Club and the Yacht Club kind of lunch buffet and stuff. And it's very comparable to the burger we got at Yacht Club.
I just want to throw out a little, I'm going to do a shout out here.
Yay.
I'm going to do a little shout out.
So pathetic.
I'm going to shout out MSC fries.
Yeah.
They were pretty darn good.
Those were almost steak fries in thickness, and they had a little seasoning on them.
The seasoning?
Mm-hmm. They were crisp. They were hot when they came out.
Not crunchy, but crisp.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, crisp.
Yeah.
A little meaty inside.
Yep.
They were pretty darn good fries for MDR fries. Most of the time you're MDR fries, you're like, nah.
Even sometimes on the buffet, it's hard to get, hot fries. So
I was really surprised that their fries were that good.
We should have taken an after picture. So we have posted.
There would be nothing on the plate in the after picture.
Everything. Like, I didn't eat the raw onion on there, but I'm pretty sure Chris ended up snagging that. He had some of the burger. We demolished the whole thing. And I just don't ever remember enjoying a brunch as much. And I'm so happy that MSC has done this. So we just want to put out, food is subjective sometimes, that's some hard thing to talk about sometimes, but there are a lot of options on there, and it's a creative menu, and I think they execute it well. So I hope it stays.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys get a chance to try it, and I hope you love it as much as we did.
Yeah, it's a highlight, I think. I think everybody should do it, like you said, at least once.
Yeah.
Probably twice, because it really is good stuff on that menu.
We didn't hit it the first C day. I don't know. We had something else going on. I think we were recording. And
the second C day.
The second C day, we hit it twice. Yeah. So that's how much we wanted to do that.
The first time we were like, this is great. And then we saw a burger walk by and went, all right, well, we're going to come back. So we walked outside the door, turned right around.
Well, we did one thing, and then we got back in line. But
we just stood there like this, so they didn't. They were confused.
They sat us in another section. Thank God. So the same waiter wouldn't be like, "What? Didn't we just?"
We do not recognize you.
Exactly. We want to talk a little bit about the Yacht Club buffet, because
this is one that I think that I hear the most questions of.
Absolutely.
And people ask us also.
We get it. We see it on Reddit. We see it a lot.
And that is I'm a picky eater.
Yeah.
This is the most recent comment I saw or question. I'm a picky eater. I like chicken fingers, fries, burgers.
Right.
Am I going to be really
might have to go to the main buffet, basically?
Yeah, with Yacht Club food and have to leave
right.
to go to the main buffet to get that kind of stuff. First
of all, those people have never been in Yacht Club.
Right. Well, I mean, if you're asking that, you haven't been in Yacht Club. But
what is the luxury of Yacht Club? Especially when you're talking about food.
Yeah, I think that people who haven't been in Yacht Club believe that Yacht Club is fancy.
snooty, fancy caviar.
Yeah, you could lobster,
champagne dreams,
Chateaubriand. I can't even pronounce it. How am I going to eat that?
Right.
And it can be, if you would like it to be that way. But what makes the Yacht Club luxurious is it's how you want to experience the cruise.
Yeah.
They will tailor it to you.
Right.
It's not, this is what we think cruising should be. It should be fancy and to the nines, and this food is all French, and you won't even know what's in your food because it's so weird looking and fancy. That's not it at all.
Right.
They will have options for that because there are people that want that.
Yeah, yeah.
But they also will tailor it to how you want to eat.
Absolutely.
It's all about catering to you.
And that's the luxury of it.
Exactly.
Right? So that is where that luxury comes in, is if you want chicken fingers every single night and French fries, you just talk to them, let them know, and they will have that. That's something they can certainly provide for you.
100%. Not only could they provide it for you,
they would be happy to.
They will be happy to. I'm telling you, when I say that, I'm not joking. When I say they want to cater to you, they enjoy making sure that you have the cruise that you want to have.
Right.
So I think there's that big misconception that it's just fancy.
I don't think you heard what I just said, but it just popped into my brain.
What?
Caviar and champagne dreams. Is that from the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous?
Champagne dreams and caviar wishes.
There
or
we
something
go.
like that.
Something like that. And I think that's what sometimes that thinking is, especially if someone is not familiar with MSC, has done other cruise lines, and they hear of Yacht Club, kind of that rich and Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Lifestyles, that was it. Lifestyles of the
that's
rich and
that's who you just think everyone's going to be, and it's absolutely not. And I think that we put out a video about the misconceptions of Yacht Club, because there are a lot, and I think some of them have to do with the food. Now,
that seems to be like a running theme in people's questions about the Yacht Club is they just think of it as fancy.
Right.
And will I be comfortable there? Right. Can I get the stuff?
I don't want a butler.
Regular stuff.
I don't want a butler,
Exactly. I don't want and it's really hard to explain to people until they've seen it for themselves that it really is not that way. If you want it to be that way, it will be.
Right.
If you don't want it to be that way, it won't be.
Absolutely.
It's not people running around in tuxes and trying to make sure that you run around in a tux too. That's not the Yacht Club.
No. Now, there is the Yacht Club looks a little bit different depending on the ship, but there's always going to be the top sail deck, if I'm saying that correctly. It's the top deck with the pool, and it has an outdoor buffet. That buffet is going to be open for breakfast and lunch, and I think I really wanted to focus on the lunch portion of the Yacht Club buffet on this podcast. I just want to
say that was the first time I was introduced to breakfast cake.
What?
Yeah, they had breakfast cake on the Yacht Club buffet.
Did.
And
every day they had it.
Like, I've always wanted breakfast cake, but I was a little too embarrassed to ask for breakfast cake.
You shouldn't be asking for cake first thing in the morning.
But they just put it out there for you.
Yep.
They're like, yeah, people want cake for breakfast, so here
Absolutely.
you go. There's breakfast cake for you.
I think one morning you actually had, like, I have to have this, right? Like,
yes.
So one morning you did have that breakfast cake.
I still felt embarrassed taking cake for breakfast, but
cake.
I'm in the Yacht Club. I want to experience cruising with cake for breakfast.
I want to talk about the lunch, because there is like a portion of that lunch buffet that is definitely buffet. There's beautiful items for like a fresh salad you can pick and make your own. There's some pre-made salads. There's even like a seafood salad that was, I don't know if I tried it, but it looked really good. So like half of the buffet is all of these kind of just grab and go options. The middle was always a carving station, something. It could even be as simple as like a roast chicken. It wasn't necessarily always fancy at lunch. So, but it was something like a little, steak or chicken or something. And then the other third of the buffet was just like this big bed of ice, and they had individual plates that showcased maybe a couple pieces of shrimp, or a beautiful piece of sea bass, or tuna, or red snapper. And what they were doing was they were showcasing the seafood that they had that they could cook just for you. So you would just walk up and you would say, gosh, that's a piece of sea bass. Like, I would like that. And they will grill it for you. They'll cook it however. They have different spices they can add for you. And then you just sit down, and then they just bring you this perfectly fresh cooked piece of seafood.
Like when they had that and I'd go up there and get it, I felt like turning away after I ordered and giggling. Like,
look what I'm getting.
Because I just ordered $60 to $90 piece of fish and I got it for free.
Exactly. And then you would just sit down, and they would bring that to you. And I think this is really what sets the Yacht Club buffet apart, because I've seen comments where you can just do the Yacht Club buffet, or you could do the main buffet, either one. It's like a and or, and it's really not, because you get these options to cook this perfectly fresh. Now, you also had hot dogs they would make for you, put on the bun and grill it and then make for you. And then they had cheeseburgers, which they made fresh. So, and you saw like the raw meat that they would take, and they would hand, put it, what's it called when you make the patty, and they would grill that for you to however you wanted and put whatever you wanted on it. And they would bring you out this beautiful cheeseburger, which we had a couple times. It was wonderful. And so I think that's kind of where it separates from the main buffet, is you have this cook like standing there with all this beautiful food, and just like, what can I make for you? You just walk up, and like, I know one day we walked up, we had already eaten in the main dining room. We were just going to kind of peek and see. And he's like, what can I make? And we're looking at all this beautiful food, and we're like, we literally can't eat anything else, but it looked so good.
But, all right, red snapper.
Yeah. And they also make the fresh mozzarella on board. And on the lunch buffet, remember, they had this beautiful, it was like bigger than a baseball bat of burrata cheese. It was some beautiful fresh tomatoes and some basil. So
I don't think you remember. I took one and put it in my pocket so I could take it to San Juan next day.
Didn't.
So you just...
I felt
snack on it as we were walking around.
Like, lunch was getting almost done, and they were still sitting there, and no one had touched them, and they were beautiful. And I finally just went and got one with a tomato, and I ate about half of it. But I'm like, somebody has to enjoy this food. It's so good. So that's kind of, and I think I wanted to mention a couple things, because this is individual people that have talked to me. Yacht Club, and especially these options at the Yacht Club buffet, are great if you have very specific dietary needs. You need something made with no added whatever. And also if you have, specific health issues too, where you need to be really careful what you're eating. So, I think we just wanted to kind of share that about the buffet, how different it is in the Yacht Club. Then it's just not like, there are very specific things that make it different.
Absolutely. It feels
casual, very casual.
Feels very casual, yeah, because of the setting and stuff like that. But
the people. They make it very welcoming, and yeah, it's not because it's the Yacht Club. It's very prim and proper. Yeah.
And a waiter comes over with a little towel over his arm and takes your order. That's not it at all. It's just kind of like a regular buffet.
Yeah,
but it's so much more.
The food is outstanding. We are excited to be on the Seascape coming up in a couple weeks for the Yacht Club, and we're going to try a lot more detail we can about all of the special food, everything that they offer. So, and we're gonna try to get that burger somehow. We're gonna see if Yacht Club can make it, or else if we have to like they said, go into the jungle to get it.
The chaos of the dining room in the morning.
That's right.
Yes.
Those are a couple things that we love about the food and kind of things we wanted to share. Obviously, we'll do more food items because there's so much to do. It's endless.
We fact it up today.
We fact it up.
We frequently ask questioned it up.
Okay.
Fact it up.
That's great. I love it. I love it.
Sorry, I distract you again.
Well, what was the thing? You're the eye candy. That's what you do. Anyway, let us know what you guys like. What do you search out for when you are on MSC that you've had in previous trips and you go back looking for that?
Looking for it. Yeah.
Looking for it.
That's always
Let
fun.
us know. We love to hear your stories.
Yeah.
So, as always, thank you for watching our podcast here on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening on Apple or Spotify or wherever you watch.
Listen.
Like I said, we have a couple fun videos and a podcast coming up about #Steampunk Humpty Dumpty.
Woo.
So make sure you have your notifications on so you know when that comes out. That's all I have to say
About that.
Thank you all.
Jenny, why don't you love me?
I think we're going to go now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.